good morning, everyone. We already delayed for 20 minutes, and I would love every person can move up the chairs so that we can get started. We'd love to have you come closer to us. To this, yeah. Okay, how are we all doing this morning?
Good.
Do we have a good energy?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, and I don't want to delay anymore, and I just want to introduce myself. My name's Sally Chung, and I'm with 3 for about closer to 2 years now. And it's just been wonderful, and I don't want to, steal the thunder, and I just want to let the presenter to be able to tell you all about 3. And I just want to introduce our lovely speaker. She's an amazing woman from Southern California, right?
I was born in San Francisco.
Born in San Francisco. All right, so she actually lives in San Jose area, and she's been at 3 probably just as long as us, or a little bit longer. Right. So anyway, she has been the last 3 decades of expertise in executive and recruiting and coaching and talent growth coaching. And so what happens is she will be spending the next 15-20 minutes to talk about 3. And I would love you to give a round of applause for her, so to welcome her and be able to spend her time and very quality time with us. But before she started, I want you to bear 3 things in mind. One is everybody must have a cell phone, right? So can you put the cell phone on the silent mode or put it away so that it doesn't disturb our speaker when she talks or speaks? And the other thing is hold all your questions to the last, right? When we can address your questions at the end. And also we have an open line. And I really appreciate all of you. And I just want to turn the floor to her. Thank you, Carmen.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. My name's Carmen Sandoval. You're at the right place at the right time, and we're just so glad that you're here. So you have pen and paper in front of you, and anytime something like strikes your mind or your heart, definitely write that keyword down. So one of the things she mentioned was having an open mind, and so we're in Silicon Valley, and so you always hear about growth mindset. So let's write down open mind or growth mindset, and really this is about you. It's empowering you, it's about your self-care, your wellness, and I'm proud to be part of 3 because there is a community involved. As we're in Silicon Valley, there's lots of pressure, lots of deadlines, if you're working for a company or if you're running your own business. And so what we are about here is community and loving yourself and loving your family. So as we go through this presentation, I'd love for you to take those kinds of notes. All right, let's see. So 3 International, just to give you a little background, is a company that's founded by global successful entrepreneurs. I learned about 3 2 years ago when they started in 2023, and I was kind of curious about what was going on, and I was also at a point in my life where I thought, there's so much going on. We're working 60 to 80 hours a week. Is there anything else going on with wellness and health? So again, they launched out of Utah, but they've been global and they've gotten into over 14 countries, international countries. This is a picture from one of the annual conferences, and actually there have been several in Utah, Hong Kong, and Malaysia. And again, what we're looking at is vision. When you're thinking about your empowerment and where you want to go, a lot of it has to do with your own personal vision. And sometimes if your vision isn't quite clear, or if you're wondering what's my big dream, it's good to partner with people that are moving ahead. And again, the one who knows the way goes the way and shows the way. So in our management team, I've helped 2 companies go public. My 3rd got bought by Google, and my last 2 were with the same founders, and unfortunately were more of a different exit strategy. But when I'm looking for companies to partner with, I'm looking very carefully at the leadership. And so what I can share with you is Daniel Piku, Dr. Dan Gubler, and Troy have many decades of expertise. And one person we'll be talking about in a moment is Dr. Dan Gubler, who's our Chief Science Officer. So when I'm looking at companies to help grow, or I'm looking for communities that I want to be a part of, I'm looking at people who can cast a vision and who are experts in their field. So if I want to represent a brand, if I want to recruit you, or I want to grow your team, those are the things I'm looking for. So Daniel, very warm individual, very professional, knows how to drive the ship. Dr. Dan Gubler, again, he's an OChem, an organic chemistry lover and specialist. He's Caltech trained, and I can't remember how many patents. I think Dr. Bob Green will be able to educate us about
17.
that. 17 patents, okay.
And 70 products.
And 70 okay, that's crazy. That's amazing. So in terms of our business model, again, as we're building communities, as we're building connections, it's a global community, so we do a lot of connections on Zoom or in person, and it's a social e-commerce world. So I love a good startup story. So if you guys recall with Jeff Bezos, when he was starting Amazon, he wasn't really starting this behemoth. He was starting small with a few products, a library, if you will, of books. And so his team in their garage up in Washington thought, what if we can be successful with just a few products, and then let's see how it grows. And today, multi-billion-dollar brand, many people are buying and selling on the platform in a different way compared to like an eBay or other social commerce sites. But again, our phase 1 market, you can see the countries that we've been successfully launching in. So you're, again, in the right place and the right time. So when you think about target markets, again, when you're getting empowered yourself and you're thinking, what big ideas or what big dreams do you have to deliver solutions or to leverage your talent? What we're looking at are target markets, right? So again, in the Amazon model, they were looking for people who wanted to get their hands on rare books or things that would help their quality of life. In 3's model, we're looking at people who are entrepreneurs in their minds, or they're interested in a business opportunity, or they want more control of their 168 hours a week. So you can write that down, 168 hours. That's how much time each of us has every week to dedicate to our self-care, to our families, to our business, to leveraging our time and our resources. And we want people who are interested in health and wellness. So we were having an interesting conversation earlier about facial exercises and techniques, and in this room, I know there's a lot of expertise about how to get better sleep, how to build community, how to have good nutrition, how to stay hydrated. So again, Dr. Bob Green will talk more about our medical board and some of the experiences they've had in those areas. But the kinds of people we're looking for, they really are paying attention to their own health and wellness, knowing that our soil is depleted, knowing that you can't eat like 5 cups of blueberries at night to make sure you're detoxing overnight, and people who, again, want to be connected in a community. And por mis amigos en español, con familia y con amigos, right? Connecting, it's muy importante. And I'm cut for time today, otherwise I'd go bilingual on you, but we can talk later. All right, so a former paradigm, and we still see this in the medical community and in the med spas and such, you might see people that are more reactive about treatment. So if there's, inflammation in the body or arthritis or sleep disorders, it may be that the doctors or your medical advisors will go more reactive in terms of trying to solve the symptom versus a root cause. So that's the old paradigm, and it's not necessarily you are what you eat, but the new paradigm is you are what you absorb. And there's a way to get healthy before disease or before inflammation might set in. So also the old paradigm is that, your DNA really was going to dictate how things would go. So for example, my dad unfortunately had a few heart attacks when he was 23 and 30, and again when he was 72, and he was a smoker, but the DNA that he was born into and that I was born into didn't mean that I have to have that type of heart disease response. There's things that we can do ahead of time. Exercise, sleep, nutrition. So since you are what you absorb rather than what you eat, there's connections in the gut and the mind and then the heart. There's been a creation of phytonutrients, so you can write that word down, phytonutrients. that are curated from whole foods. So you might have heard of things like curcumin, boswellia, black pepper. Like, these things are all amazing, and nature is kind of its own positive pharmacy, if you will. So again, the future of proactive wellness is really in what's called epigenetics. So you can write that word down, epigenetics. And so epigenetics is a field where you can upregulate and downregulate. And again, because I'm not the board certified internal medicine specialist like Dr. Bob Green, I'll have him explain more. So again, lifestyle, environment, we've talked about a few of these things in terms of longevity. You have control over it. You can dedicate as much of your 168 hours a week of your time to that, to the research, which I love to do. This is our scientific advisory board, which Dr. Bob Green will talk more about. I've met 80% of these people, and man, it's so fun to talk to them because they're in love with their profession and the mindset of being proactive versus reactive in terms of health. A lot of them have gone to Johns Hopkins and many other recognizable medical institutions and educational areas, and they're not paid, which is incredible to me, because typically when I'm working with startups and even large companies like Stanford University or Intuit, everyone's getting paid. In terms of the research and development, I love R&D in general. I'm a natural researcher. That's one of my core strengths. And in fact, if you write this down, motivational DNA, mDNA, if sometimes you get blocked in your mind about what's motivating you, this is something you can turn to, and I'll give you a link to that later. But basically, I love R&D. That's part of my emotional, my motivational DNA. And so we like to explore, curate, and study absorption. So that's really what Dr. Dan Gubler leads for us, and what we're studying as well. Check. Now, in terms of the science and technology, the products are recognized by a publication called the PDR, which used to be called the Physician's Desk Reference, but is now called the Prescriber's Digital Reference. So if you write down pdr.net and you're working with your medical team, anything that you're prescribed, they're looking at to see if there's contraindications, and your pharmaceutical teams are also doing the same. So what's interesting to me about 3 and our products and the things that we're studying in general and that are showing effective results is that we're listed in the PDR, every single one of our products. So we have 6 internal products, an additional set of external products that have to do with neuroscience, absorption, and really improving wellness, and again, the epigenetics of the studies of your body. So you'll know that there's at least 18 other companies that may be in our similar space, but not a single one of them has every single one of their products listed in the PDR. And to get in the PDR, that's something that I'll count on Dr. Bob Green to share with us. We also have third-party test information and white papers, and this is really important in a field where things can get miscommunicated. So I know when I'm walking around Costco, I love Costco, right? You pay like $160 a year and you're looking at all the products, and they have lots and lots of vitamins and other wellness things, but I don't see any white papers, and I don't understand if they're really working. And so to me, if I'm gonna invest my 168 hours a week or any of my resources or my time or treasure into putting something into my body, I wanna know that it's actually working, and I wanna see some scientific evidence. Dr. Bob Green will go ahead and cover more details about these products, but these are wellness guardians. I personally, when I first learned about 3 as a business opportunity in the community, I got really interested in figuring out how I could improve my hip joint and my knee joint tightness in the morning, and also improve my energy. I was taking a lot of naps. I still take some naps now, but I love Revive. That's the kind of, they call it a magic bean. I started taking Revive for a couple of days, and I noticed my hip pain and my knee pain really were not present. And that came from a lot of years of teaching fitness classes and running marathons and races. And I love Orange Theory, so before I work out, I take a couple of those to be able to help my flexibility, and there's not really pain. And then I love Eternal, the purple pack. My husband last night, before we went to bed, he goes, "Did you take something?" I go, "I did take the collagen, and I wanted to talk a little bit longer," but he was not happy about that. So I have to be really careful like when I take these products, because energy levels come up. Okay, so did you want to come up and talk a little bit, Dr. Green? So Dr. Green, please join me in welcoming Dr. Green, who's come up from Southern California. He's got many decades of medical practice experience, and he's board certified in internal medicine. Thank you, Dr. Green.
Okay, good. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I don't need this.
Okay.
Thank you.
But I will
Well,
give
thank you.
Just-
Thank you for inviting me to talk to you about the products, because this is an unbelievable opportunity. And the reason why it's growing like crazy, the company started 22 months ago. In the first 22 months, $150 million worth of these products have been sold in 14 countries and 1 territory. Let me say that again. A startup 22 months ago, zero, $150 million in sales. How many startups do you know? You're the startup queen.
Yes.
How many startups do you know that go with that kind of growth? And the reason is because of these products. So this company has this fellow named Dr. Dan Gubler, who Carmen told you about. He's a brilliant guy. He's a nerd. For those of you that don't know, the word nerd is he just totally consumed with science and plants and biochemistry and organic chemistry. And he basically formulates these products. And he has done a magnificent job with 6 of what they call the wellness guardians that you take by mouth, and 4 that you put on your face. It's called the Visage Skincare Collection. And the reason this is exploding is because of the quality of the products. Now, there's already 2,000 physicians, MDs, PhDs in this deal. And as Carmen just said, when she said she didn't want to put her reputation on the line, a lot of physicians won't go near anything that is a little, shall we say, murky or questionable. So when Sally Chung, my good friend, called me up a year and a half ago and said, you got to look at this company called 3, I said, show me the studies. Because I get approached a lot as a board certified internal medicine who's been practicing 50 years or so. By the way, I'm about to be 79. Wow. And this, this keeps me looking good. And this Vitality keeps my energy. I like to tell people I can outpace people who are 40 years old. This is incredible in terms of the energy. But in any event, getting back to the products, the Dr. Dan Gubler has basically come up with products that really are effective, and I'm going to tell you why they're effective. But I'm so pleased to be able to present this to you, and if I don't take care, I could go on all day, and I only have about 20 minutes to get into this. So let me just go over the products with you a little bit. There are 6 you take by mouth. Vitality, which comes in a little package over here, is basically 4 capsules and a little soft gel, and it basically is a combination of vitamins and minerals. Now, what makes this so special? Well, first off, they're all natural vitamins. They're not synthetic. Very often when you buy vitamins in the store, they're synthetic. They're created in the lab. These are natural. They are basically a powerhouse of superfoods. Alfalfa and barley and wheatgrass and all kinds of wonderful things that give you great energy. It's also a powerhouse of what they call a super blend of berries, and basically you need 10 different berries in your body because it's wonderful to fight inflammation. They also have wonderful things called probiotic enzymes. Probiotic enzymes are things like lactobacillus, which are good for you in terms of your gut. We'll get into gut in a minute in terms of the immunity, but basically you need good bacteria in your gut. And we've got 100 million good bacteria in each one of these packages. In addition to that, it's got pancreatic enzymes, protease, lipase, amylase. Those are digestive enzymes that you need in terms of having good absorption. It's also got omega-3, 6, 7, and 9. Those are called anti-inflammatories. And the reason why you need that is basically to reduce inflammation. And then, of course, it's got 72 different trace minerals and all kinds of amino acids in it as well. Why do you need trace minerals? Well, because minerals activate enzymes in our body. So you need minerals. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. So you need amino acids. Well, this is chock full of them. So this product, Vitality, just this little package, gives you energy. And people say, wow, they notice a difference. And we'll get into why they notice a difference in a minute. It's because of that cellular absorption that Carmen talked about that really is incorporated through all of these products, which means that your body, when you take this by mouth, your body absorbs it. Let me tell you that the standard in the industry is 10% absorption, which means if you take a vitamin or a mineral, you're going to absorb 10% and you're going to pee out or poop out 90% of it. So think about that. You spend $10 for a bottle of vitamins or $30 for a bottle of vitamins, whatever you spend. 10% you retain, 90% you eliminate or excrete. That's incredible. Well, Dr. Dan has a method called cellular absorption technology. He's got 12 different methods where he can increase the absorption of these products that we put in our mouth, not from 10% anymore, but from 35 to 95%. So you're getting tremendous absorption. That's one of the reasons why I am so thrilled to tell people when I introduce them to these products, try them for 3 weeks, for a month. You'll know. Why? Because of the cellular absorption. In other words, when you put it in your mouth, it stays in your body 35 to 95% versus peeing it out or pooping it out. And you're going to be able to see effects very quickly. Now, a lot of people, when they try vitamins and supplements and minerals and things like that, very often they're used to, well, let me try it for a couple of months, maybe 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, I'll see how I feel. Here, 3 weeks to a month. In fact, some with this Visage component called creme caviar, which I've been going around putting on people's palms. By the way, if I put it on your palm, why don't you take a second and feel your palm, feel the back of your hand, one side versus the other, and see if you feel the difference. The reason is because cellular absorption. So very often people will use these products and see great results. The Vitality then gives the energy. It's great for the brain and the heart and the eyes. It's a very exciting product. Revive is the next one, or Revive rather, is the next one. Basically, that Dr. Dan created as the restorer. What does that mean? He created it as a product that you basically take that gets your joints and your ligaments and your tendons back to normal. It was intended for people who are doing workouts, people who are doing gardening. I call them weekend warriors, people who go out and do things on the weekends that they wouldn't do otherwise in terms of lifting, emptying out the garage, rearranging furniture, doing any kind of physical strenuous exercise that you don't normally do, and then you're sore by the end of the weekend. Weekend warriors. This was created as a product to basically help you get your joints and tendons and muscles back to normal as quick as possible. What's in it? It's curcumin, which is part of turmeric and very close to ginger. But it's also got, besides curcumin in it, it's got boswellia in it. It's got black cumin oil in it. In addition to that, it's got grapeseed extract. It's got sea buckthorn fruit oil, and it's got shiitake mushrooms. It's also got piperine in it and menthol. All of these different ingredients come together to help to reduce inflammation. Now, let me just tell you right now that one of the things that companies like ours have got to be careful about is making health claims. The FDA, let's back up a step. There's no mineral or supplement made by any company that's FDA approved. This comes up all the time. Is this FDA approved? And the answer is no, because the FDA does not look at vitamins and supplements and minerals. The FDA is so busy looking at pharmaceutical companies who make prescription drugs because there's so much more because of the chemicals involved in those. Remember, these are all phytonutrients. These are all natural. What you get when you buy a pharmaceutical antibiotic or anti-inflammatory is a synthetic a chemical. So the FDA is looking at that. The FDA does not look at this. As a result, there are a lot of companies that make garbage because they're not FDA approved. Well, our company is a company that makes products that are superb, as you heard Carmen said, they're in the PDR. We'll get into that in a minute. But more importantly, they're manufactured right here in the United States in FDA-approved facilities using something called GMP. Write that down, GMP, Good Manufacturing Practices. That's huge because so many vitamins and supplement makers are made in Asia, and you have no idea about the quality control and how many toxic metals and all kinds of other garbage are in those products. These are made right here in the United States, FDA-approved facilities using GMP practices. So this Revive, again getting back to the whole idea that healthcare companies like ours, proactive wellness companies, can't make health claims because the FDA says we don't allow that or we'll shut you down. So Dr. Dan says it's great for your joints to get it back to homeostasis. But then people get up at conferences like this and say, let me tell you folks what's happened to me. I've got gout. Gout is an inflammatory condition in the body that unfortunately people have, very, very painful. And people get up and say, since I started taking Revive, the number of gouty attacks I've had has decreased in half. People get up and say, I've got fibromyalgia. That's another disease that I deal with as a board certified internist all the time. That's where everything hurts in your body. And people get up and say, I started taking Revive. It's like a godsend. People get up and say, I've got osteoarthritis and bone-on-bone arthritis in my knees or in my hips or in my back. And I started taking this Revive, and it's a miracle what it has done. These are called patient testimonials. And this is very exciting because as more and more people hear about these products, we're going to have more and more things that we have no idea what's coming down the pike in terms of benefit. Frozen shoulders, rotator cuff syndrome. Maybe some of you have had frozen shoulders or rotator cuff problems with your arms. This works like a charm for so many people. Does it work for everybody? Of course not. There's nothing that really works for everybody. But the point is, only about 150,000 plus or minus people right now in the world are using these products. There's 8 billion people in the world. Can you imagine in a couple of months, a couple of years, as we continue to spread the word about these products, as more and more people use these products, how many more people are going to come up and get up in front of audiences like this and tell you about their personal testimonials in terms of what these products can do? It's just mind-boggling. So Revive is a great product. Now I happen in my family, my wife's got bad osteoarthritis, and I gave her some Revive, and it's like incredible what it has done for her. But you're going to hear from other people in a few minutes about testimonials. Immune is called the protector. Immune is a great product that basically Dr. Dan developed to help our gut, which is where a lot of our immune system comes from. You may know that we have good bacteria, lactobacillus, and bad bacteria, which are E. coli, and they're always fighting with each other in terms of who's got dominance. So Dr. Dan created this problem called immune that's got quorum sensing in it, and basically what happens here is it controls the bad bacteria and it interferes with the communication between the E. coli, so the lactobacillus or the good bacteria basically have the upper hand. And it's a great product for what's called innate immunity, which means to protect you against the viruses and bacteria that you're facing now, as well as what Dr. Dan calls adaptive immunity, which means things that are coming down the road. So the immune is a great thing, and what happens? People get up and say, well, Chloe, where's Chloe? Chloe, you want to get up and just for a moment tell us what you sold us last night? When Chloe, by the way, is one of the international stars of this company. We are blessed to have her here today, and she was mentioning last night her experience with immune.
Immune is the balance of your immunity. When your immunity is high, they will be lower. If your immunity is low, they will be higher. But always keep your immunity is balanced. It's really, really good for your stomach. Your immune system is very, very healthy. Yeah.
She flies around the world, conferences like this. Remember, we're already in 15 countries, and she's got business going probably in all 15 countries. And she says every time she gets on a plane, she takes 6 of these.
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
Okay? Again, and what happens is people get up and say, well, I had a virus or a flu or a bronchitis, and I doubled up or tripled up on my immune for a few days, and instead of lasting a week, it lasted 2 days. So a lot of good effects from this immune. Purify is the next one. That Dr. Dan created as the detoxifier. Why do you need a detoxifier? Well, you need a detoxifier because we have all kinds of exposure to heavy metals and impurities. Just think about the pictures, or when you see flash, air alert, don't go outside without a mask. Think about all the stuff you're breathing in. Think about the pictures you've seen of Beijing in the middle of the afternoon when the air is so thick it looks like the middle of the night. Think about all the toxic stuff in Southern California with all those disastrous fires we had recently and all that stuff in the air. So you're constantly exposed to impurities. Not only do you breathe it in, but you drink it in. And now, unfortunately, we're learning that there's more and more exposure to plastic, and it's accumulating in our body. So we've got heavy metals, we've got plastic, we've got other kinds of impurities in our body. This Purify basically gets rid of it. What is it? It's a combination of things. It's green. It's a green capsule. The green because it's chlorophyll, but it's also a wonderful product because it's got humic acid in it, which is loaded with fulvic acid, which is known to basically get rid of impurities in the body. It's also got coriander leaf and dandelion root. It's got pectin in it. It's got apple in it. Things that basically are going to help get rid of impurities in your body. Now we have already 5 different organs of detoxification. The liver, the lungs, the kidneys, the colon, and the skin. This Purify basically stimulates all five present organs to basically help us to eliminate things more effectively. So Purify is a great product. That's what Dr. Dan developed. But people get up at conference like this and say, let me tell you about Purify. I have got constipation, and this has helped me greatly. Or I've got what's called irritable bowel syndrome, which is basically a condition where your gut sort of goes back and forth between causing pain with diarrhea and constipation. This works for a lot of people. People get up and say, I've got asthma. And since I've been on the Purify, the number of asthma attacks and the severity of asthma has decreased. People get up and say, wow, I've lost weight on Purify. Now, Dr. Dan did not develop this product for those results, but that's what I'm saying. As more and more people experience our products, we're going to get more and more of these personal testimonials, which the FDA says is 100% legitimate, because all that is one person getting up and saying, this is what it did for me. But folks, again, we've only got about 150,000 worldwide using these products. Just imagine the stories we're going to be able to tell when there's 8 billion people using these products, and that day will come. So Purify has great results, both from what Dr. Dan has formulated it for, as well as these personal testimonials. Eternal is called the Rejuvenator. What is this? It's a combination of wonderful antioxidants. What's an antioxidant? An antioxidant is basically something that you need to prevent the formation of what are called free radicals. What's a free radical? A free radical is a molecule that occurs in your body as a result of our regular oxidative processes. It's an uncharged molecule that basically can cause havoc with your cells. So if you have too many free radicals in your system, it increases your risk of cardiovascular disease like heart attacks and strokes and cancer and diabetes. You don't want to have a lot of free radicals. So Eternal is basically a combination of things, antioxidants to lower free radicals. Now, one of the antioxidants that's in here, everybody's heard of. It's called CoQ10. Everybody's heard of that. CoQ10, what's different about ours? It's 30 to 95% absorption versus the other CoQ10s that get flushed down the toilet, again, because of the cellular absorption technology. But in addition to the CoQ10, it's also got resveratrol in it. Resveratrol is the antioxidant that's in red wine. So those of you who are red wine drinkers may have heard of resveratrol. This has got 200 milligrams of resveratrol in it, which is a huge amount. You'd have to get yourself drunk on red wine to try to get the same equivalent of 200 milligrams of resveratrol. But the real thing about, or the most important antioxidant we've got in the Eternal is glutathione. Glutathione is the heavy hitter. That's the major antioxidant there is. So this product, Eternal, because of the composition, protects us from the UV radiation from the sun. So it was developed by Dr. Dan as basically something to reduce free radicals and keep us healthier. But people get up at conference and say, let me tell you my personal experience. This Eternal, wow, helps me sleep like a baby. This Eternal, wow, gives me energy. This Eternal, and now the best testimonial, menopause. Menopause. Think about irritability, hot flashes, sleep disturbances, sweating. Just think about that, how many millions, maybe billions of women around the world are suffering with that. And women who are menopausal and struggling with that are getting up at conference now and saying, this Eternal is unbelievable. I got rid of all my estrogen, all my progesterone, all my anti-anxiety drugs, all my sleeping drugs. This Eternal has helped me greatly with my menopause. Stop and think from a business point of view how big the market suddenly got because women are getting up and talking about this. I mean, I can't wait to start talking to older women who are going through menopause and saying, hey, how would you like a natural fix for your menopausal symptoms? Huge. Anyway, so Eternal is very exciting. Collagen, the last of the six, is basically loaded with collagen. Now, what's so special about collagen? Well, collagen is manufactured by our bodies. Men make testosterone, women make estrogen. We both make collagen. Unfortunately, about the age of 27 to 30, the collagen production in our body starts going down. You need collagen for your hair, your nails, your skin, and your joints. So if you don't have enough collagen, it's not good. So what Dr. Dan has done is he has developed this collagen with basically this brilliant concept. You take it for 10 days, and then you skip it for 20 days. So it's 10 days on, 20 days off, 10 days on, 20 days off. Women, it's like birth control pills, okay? The same idea. You want to stimulate the collagen-making cells in your body, which are been basically died off, not died off, but basically gone to sleep, and you basically want to stimulate them to start producing more of your own body's collagen. That's the rationale for 10 days on, 20 days off. But in addition to the collagen, which is, by the way, murine-based or fish-based, very pure, very from deep-sea fish, okay? In addition to that, he's put into it hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is the chemical, or the substance, I should say, that physicians, orthopedists, pain management people, some internists, inject into knees that are osteoarthritic. It's called Synvisc. The trade name is Synvisc, so you may have experienced it yourself or have relatives who've had injections of this Synvisc into the joints. Why? Because hyaluronic acid reduces inflammation. So when people take collagen, not only do they say, boy, I look better, my skin is better, my nails are better, my hair is better, but my joints are better. I got more flexibility. I'm moving around. So collagen is a very exciting product. These are the 6 products that we take by mouth. And then came Visage. You have a slide for Visage? Oh, I'm doing it?
You got it, you got it.
I'm doing it. Which one? Here,
The right arrow. I know they're tiny buttons. Apologies.
So this is a blockbuster. This is called Visage. It basically comes as a component of 4 different products, and I'll go through them with you in a minute. Whoops, I gotta hurry it up here. I could spend the whole day here with you. Wait a minute, let's go back to that for a minute. Okay, basically it's the world's first neurocosmetic. What does that mean? Well, neurocosmetic, think about it. You put it on your face or your neck, that's the cosmetic part. The neuro part is because of what it does. when you put skin creams made by tons of company on your face, usually the action is right on your face, the epidermis and the dermis, and that's it. Well, Dr. Dan, and remember these are all phytonutrients, so they're all natural plant-based. Dr. Dan has developed this as a neurocosmetic, which means when you put this on your face, not only is it doing great things for you cosmetically or superficially, but it's stimulating the nerves in your face and in your neck where you put it, and that sends signals to your brain. And what does your brain do? Your brain releases what are called neurotransmitters. What's a neurotransmitter? Neurotransmitter is a substance that's secreted from the brain that stimulates the other organs in your body. For instance, your thyroid gland, which sits here in your neck, the only reason it works is because the brain secretes a neurotransmitter called TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. If you don't have enough thyroid stimulating hormone, your thyroid doesn't work. Well, the 3 neurotransmitters that this visage causes the brain to secrete are serotonin, dopamine, and DHEA. Serotonin, what's that? That's a substance that we all have in our body that you need to be able to be bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, excited, not depressed. Depressed people have low levels of serotonin. So what do physicians like me do? We write for drugs that basically increases the serotonin level in their body to make them less depressed. Well, if you've got this, and this is causing more serotonin to be released from your brain, you are going to be brighter, happier, your cognition's going to be better. You're basically going to be the antithesis of being flat and being depressed. It's beautiful. The whole idea is beautiful. And Dr. Dan has documented before and after levels of these neurotransmitters, so when people say, oh yeah, show me the proof, he's got the studies to show it. That's serotonin. The next one is called dopamine. We all need dopamine in our body. There's a condition called Parkinson's disease. That's where people have a staggering gait like that, or when they move with what's called cogwheel rigidity. Michael J. Fox, the actor, and he basically is a picture boy of what Parkinson's disease is all about. By the way, kudos to Michael J. Fox. He's raised over $1 billion by himself for research to try to come to try to find a cure for Parkinson's disease. So when this product releases more dopamine from your brain, you're going to have more fluidity in terms of how you move. It's also going to help your mentation in terms of your mood. It's also going to help your motivation. Dopamine is a great product. I write prescriptions for dopamine. You use this, it increases the dopamine naturally because that's one of the neurotransmitters. And the third neurotransmitter is DHEA, dihydroepiandrosterone, which is a neurotransmitter that you need, again, in terms of your mood and your memory and your ability to recall. So when Dr. Dan says that Visage is a neurocosmetic, the world's first patent pending, all phytonutrient, nothing artificially in here, this is a home run. And when people use this product, basically the cleanse, which is in the white thing, but we heard today's stories about people who are using it as a mask because it has great results on your skin. And then the toner, which is the second part of it, you spray it on your face to basically help your pores get ready to accept the third part of it, which is called the serum. It's coming somewhere. It's coming. One more. There, okay. This is called the super serum, okay? You basically put that on your skin twice a day. And then finally, this little baby, which just came out, this is the moisturizer. It's called Creme Caviar. I love it. This is just wonderful in terms of helping your skin to look good. But it itself also has this neurocosmetic ability in terms of the neurotransmitters. So this combination of products, these 4 things, the Visage collection, are huge, not only in terms of making you look better, but also in terms of making you feel better. Who would not want to be more alert, more in tune, have more energy, look brighter, be happier, functioning at a much higher level? Think about that. I mean, it's just incredible. I always go up to Dr. Dan and I say to him, listen, you're not stressing enough the dopamine, the serotonin, the DHEA. That's the real excitement. From a physician's point of view, that's the real excitement in these products. And he smiles at me and he says, Dr. Bob, I leave that up to you. You'll tell the world about it. And I'm telling you, folks, all you got to do is try it and see. So that's the Visage, and that's the end of the products. I just wanted to comment, and then I'll sit down. A few things. Number one, the epigenetic study that Carmen referenced before is unbelievably brilliant. What Dr. Dan did is he looked at the human body. There's 20,000 genes in our body, 20,000. So Dr. Dan selected eight of those genes. I have no idea why he selected these particular genes, but he did. Then he exposed 4 of our 6 products. We have 6 by mouth. 4 of them he exposed to these genes. And here's what he found. One of the genes is called P-para. That just happens to be the name of the gene, P-P-A-R-A. And he found that all of the 4 products, they all increased P-para. What does that mean? They increased energy, ATP. If you remember your high school chemistry, we have this thing called the Krebs cycle. Remember Krebs cycle? I don't know if you're studying chemistry yet in school. We got a youngster here, but
You're giving me anxiety about the
I'm
chemistry.
sorry?
You're giving me anxiety about chemistry.
ATP is a molecule that you need for energy. Well, this gene, P-para, increases ATP and energy. Our 4 products that Dr. Dan tested all increase the activity of P-para. Then he found that 3 of the 4 increased the action of BDNF. BDNF. That's one of the genes that has to do with cognition in terms of just remembering things and being sharper. So those are great effects. They're called epigenetic effects from phytonutrients, all plant-based. These are not chemicals. These are all plant-based that have positive effects on 2 important genes. But the story gets better because then he found that NFKB, which is another one of these genes that he tested, basically has to do with inflammation. And all 4 of the products lowered NFKB. And then he found that 3 of the 4 lowered NK, I can't remember the name of the next gene off the top of my head, but that has to do with inflammation, including this Eternal, which lowered it by 1,250%. That's huge. Now, to bring this home for you, you've probably all heard of Ozempic, because everybody's shooting themselves up with Ozempic to lose weight and stabilize their blood sugar. But now we've got more of these semaglutides. That's what it's called, semaglutide. That's a generic for what Ozempic is. And basically we've got things like Wegovy and Zepbound, as well as Rybelsus, in terms of stabilizing blood sugar and lowering weight. And the reason that works is because basically what it does is it upregulates or stimulates another one of those genes called GLP-1. So you want these products in your body because of the epigenetic effect that it has in your body. That's very exciting. There's so much to tell you, folks. The scientific advisory board that Carmen talked about, those are not just your average run-of-the-mill physicians. They're MD, PhDs from Johns Hopkins, from Mayo, from Cleveland, from Harvard, from MD Anderson. I mean, these are really top quality physicians who are either in their own private practices or part of a university practice. They're all practicing physicians, and they're volunteering their time to help Dr. Dan develop more products. That's huge. She mentioned the PDR. Well, look at PDR.net. Go to PDR.net and click on staff. And you're going to see it's loaded with physicians and PhDs who are brilliant, and those are the people, the staff members of PDR.net. Those are the staff members that decide which products get into the PDR and which products don't get into the PDR. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of companies that make vitamins and minerals and supplements, and every one of them would love to be accepted into the PDR. There's only 21 nutrient and supplement makers that have gotten in. We're one of the 21. But we are the only one that has all 10 of our products accepted into the PDR. That's huge. So talk to people and say, listen, whatever supplement or mineral you're taking, just go to pdr.net, put in the name of your supplement or whatever you're taking. Chances are it's not going to be in there. All 10 of our products are in the PDR. And when people understand that it's a third party, PDR.net has absolutely nothing to do with 3 International. It's not like we're a shoo-in to get in. The reason we're in is because of the quality of the products. Dr. Dan has got these, between the epigenetic study, which I just went over for you, between the cellular absorption technology, which means that you keep 35 to 95% of what you put in your mouth as opposed to going out the urine or the stool. The fact that he's got this superoxide study, I didn't even get into that. All that does is show that these products reduce inflammation. The fact that he's got more and more physicians and researchers all over the world looking at this. They're what they call third-party double-blind studies, peer-reviewed. He's now publishing some of these studies in some of the best food journals. I mean, we're really, really cutting edge. And that's one of the reasons why there's over 2,000 physicians into this already, because it's the quality of the products that are driving the opportunity. The compensation plan is phenomenal, but it's the products that drive the opportunity. If this was garbage, the whole thing would have gone down years ago. Anyway, you're at the right place at the right time, and I am going to stop. Thank you very much. We're going to do some testimonials.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
You want me to introduce?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. Okay, we'd like you to hear from 3 people. Steph, where are you? Steffi? Stephanie is going to tell you a little bit about her experience in terms of some of these products.
Just by myself.
Sure.
Hello, everybody. My name is Stephanie. I'm with 3 International a year and a half now, and I take all 10 products. Is loud enough? Not loud enough? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. So by the way, I take all 10 products, and a year and a half ago, I barely walk because my knee pain and my back pain. And Sally, thanks for her to introduce this product to me, and I took that for 3 weeks. And in the beginning, I skeptical. I'm like, not that again, you know. And they say, no, try it. And I did try it, and 3 weeks after I didn't know that I able to walk normal. One day I walk upstairs, I go to a meeting. Every time I take the elevator to the 4-4 meeting, all my crews walk upstairs. And that day I just ran with my manager and said, what are you doing here? I said, what? I'm going to a meeting. I said, you normally take the elevator. You okay with your knees? I'm like, oh, I didn't realize. So I walk up and down now. So that really thankful for that. And I have high cholesterol for 350 something, the level. So I went to, because I refuse to take medication. I went to a doctor and she said, no, you have to take all this stuff. So the medication said, no. I just heard that this product can help me with the cholesterol. Can I try? She said, okay, you try 6 months. I have, long story short, so 6 months after is my level number down to 220. And she not believe me. She go online, she say, oh, ask your company to do a patent soon. I said, we already have. And she say, let me do more research. But you come back 6 months to me, I don't believe you. Now I am at 170.
Wow.
So thank you. So I need to say, but she say, watch out what you eat. That's all. So I'll share my son who has ADHD spectrum autism. And he take all 6 products, but he doesn't like the purify because it make him, detox. So anyway, after I take all 6, I see a difference from him. He's more calm, and But after the result came out, and I put on for him, he's more calm, and he normally really aggressive sometimes, how autism kid. But now he's more very calm and more logic, and he, sometimes I ask him help, he say, yes, mom, you need help, instead of say, what do you need? Something like that. So like opposite. So I can see, even my husband see the difference. So that's my story. But thank you so much. So I will have, you never tried before, you should try it for a few months. You will see how great the product is. I love this product. Thank you.
I'm going to ask Joy to come up in a minute, but before I do that, let me tell you a little tidbit. I happen to have cancer. I have a cancer called multiple myeloma. It's a cancer of the bone marrow. Unfortunately, there's no cure. But look at me. Do I look like I have cancer? No way. What I'm telling you is these products are phenomenal. So if you know of anybody who's got cancer, any kind of chronic degenerative kinds of disease, definitely they should be on all of these products. When I went to my oncologist, I said, I've heard great things about these products. I want to go on them. Here's a list of ingredients. I made a list of ingredients of all 6 products. And I said, what do you think, Doc? He looked at it and he said, there's nothing in here that I have a problem with in terms of interfering with your treatment. I'm getting treated monthly with what's called immunotherapy, which means infusions of monoclonal antibodies. It's the new type of chemotherapy. But I'm on these products, all 6 of them, and my energy level is off the wall. And so I'm telling everyone who's got any kind of chronic debilitating disease like cancer to get on all 6 of these products after you show the list of ingredients to your oncologist and ask for their permission, because if you're on certain chemotherapy protocols, you got to be careful about what you take. But if you get the green light, go on it. Will it cure your cancer? Absolutely not. I'd love to say it did, but it didn't. But it's going to have you functioning at such a high level. That's the difference. So even though I'm walking around with cancer, I am operating in the stratosphere, and everybody notices it. And now that I'm using Visage and this lovely little moisturizer, everybody says, he can't possibly be 79. I say, yes. Joy, you want to come up and just say a few words? This is Joy Jewel. Just tell us about your experience with some of this.
I didn't notice I have my sunglasses with me. It's okay, it's my eyeglasses. It's eyeglasses. Yeah, good morning everyone. Good noon. I'm Joy. People call me sometimes Joy, some Jewel. And I am here in 3 because I want to be healthy. And I don't take any like medications because I don't want it. I want to maintain myself healthy without any medications. So I just thank the Lord that Sally called me, that introduced me 3 with Dr. Bob, and because I am into wellness, I want to be healthy. So they didn't find no harm to convince me. I just say yes immediately because I want to be healthy. And then I tried it. At that time, I really have a very sorry. It's my knees. Both knees are hurting. And you know what? When I go up the stairs, I have to do. And then I go down the stairs. I also have to go. But that's why I really tried Revive immediately, because Dr. Bob said that would help you. So I tried taking it, but I just did not take Revive. I take the 6, and then just like after 2 days, 3 days, I can walk really nicely. No more step like that. Until today, look at me, I can still walk nicely and sexy. Really, 3 is really amazing. Not only on the knee, but it makes me feel stronger than usual. And this is just while I'm driving coming up here. One of my 72 or 73 years old guy who bought from me the Vitality. He wanted to come because I did not register him yet, but he keeps taking the Vitality and the Eternal. He said he plays tennis every day. He said, please give me this afternoon if you have available product, because that keeps him going. He plays. He said he plays more strongly and with the Vitality. So he wants me to deliver today. So I don't know if I have with Sunny. So join with us. If you don't have yet tried the 3, please try it.
Okay.
Thank you.
And finally, Patrick, you want to come up, Patrick? Patrick is from the construction industry, and he's going to relate what his experiences have been.
Hey, Pat.
Could you keep that on the screen for me, because I don't remember the name. Ah, no, I don't think I need it, Doc, please. Good morning, my name is Pat Latreille, and my whole life has been very physical and abusive physically, between military, 3 helicopter crashes in Vietnam, a bad hip, a ruptured spleen, falciparum malaria, and Agent Orange bladder cancer. And so my immunity has been pretty well lowered from those things. And semi-pro baseball, it didn't help the hip any either. But last year, 24, my wife and I had a kitchen remodel, and we had some mold where a dishwasher blew out. And the restoration company said, oh, Mr. Latreille, I'd open the curtain and I'd peek in, how you girls doing, you know? And they said, oh, please don't come in here without a mask. And I said, listen, I've been breathing this crap all my life in demolition.
Oh my God.
You know, and, you know, literally explosive demolitions and building demolitions. But anyways, I got sick. I got really sick. And so my wife says, oh, you know, I've got a girlfriend over here in Kentfield that wants to sell me these vitamins. I'm going to buy vitamins. I says, don't get into that crap. I said that they don't work. And for 44 years, I never took this stuff. And when I did, it never worked, because Dr. Bob is correct. Everything he says about this stuff, and believe me, people, I'm no salesman. You know, some people can sell space heaters to the people living on the equator. And I've got a brother who can sell ice to Eskimos, but I can't sell water to a starving person. Okay, so I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to tell you what it has done for me. So my wife said, you've got a bad finger, and believe me, I did. Bad hip. That's even worse. She gave me this stuff right here. Now, you have to bear with me. I can't remember all the names. But I take all of them, right? And so, and I have something for Dr. Bob too that may be a discovery. I don't know. But anyways, I took the one. No, I'm sorry. I took
Second one, yeah.
this one. I took this one. I took 2 capsules. The next morning I woke up, I go, holy God, my finger feels better after so many years. Look, yeah, and it's still, it's damaged, but my God. And as a professional musician at one period of time, I thought I'll never be able to play drums again. I can now. So anyway, I got sick and I started taking all this stuff. And I didn't eat for 11 days. I just took 1 bottle of Ensure just to, I guess, stay alive or whatever, I don't know. But I took this in the morning, Vitality. And believe me, it does give you vitality.
Yeah.
Okay, it does. I took it, 45 minutes later, I go, wow. She's already gone to the office. I go, wow, I'm gonna take a shower and get downtown, have a little breakfast. Well, I was so far down with this sickness, with this mold crap, that I take a shower, get dressed, about an hour later, I'm not going anywhere. I want to stay home and sleep. Take another one. Oh, I feel good. I think I will go outside. And so the absorption rate on these things are incredible. So last month I came here, Dr. Bob was here, and I'm walking like this. And believe me, I have a bad hip. And so about an hour before I came down, this stuff, the purple one.
Yeah,
Eternal. I took 2 of them, plus the little orange ones, plus the Revive and the Vitality. I took them all. By the time I got down here, I was walking like nothing was wrong with my hip.
Yeah, that's right.
Doc, that thing took away the pain in my hip and in my base of my spine, right? So I go to the VA hospital and they say you've got tremendous amount of calcium buildup and what is it, arthritis, right?
Osteoarthritis.
Yeah. I don't feel it. I mean, if I don't take this stuff and I let it go for a couple days, which I try not to do, I look like I'm 76. But with taking this, I had no idea the pain would go away. I figured the pain would go away with these guys. But the pain goes away with drinking the tube stuff, the eternal, okay? So I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to tell you, for all the new people, that I never believed in vitamins. They're a bunch of crap, just like Doctor says. They don't absorb. These guys do. And I will never not take these. There'll be nothing else in my life that I'll ever take off the shelf because they are garbage. This stuff works, okay? That's all I'm telling you. It works. So, don't believe me. Try it yourself.
90% of people who try this, within 3 weeks, they know. That's why when somebody says to me, oh, well, you know, I don't know, let me see if it works. I say, sure, no problem, try it. Because I know 90% of the people are going to have a positive response.
All right, thank you so much. Everyone, please applaud for Dr. Bronson. Thank you. Are you guys having fun? It's kind of interesting. I mean, you know, again, we're talking about health, wellness, so you guys can maximize your potential in your 168 hours. May I have the clicker? Any clicker. Yeah, that's good. All right. So,
Okay.
I guess we're not clicking today. In terms of the opportunity, there's a couple choices you guys have today. Keep researching, keep your mind open, keep learning. You could be a customer. You could try things out. If you want to understand more about the business, we'll be doing a few breakouts in a moment. But I'll tell you again, because I've worked with so many startups and also $23 billion and $8 billion cap companies, I'm looking for opportunities to leverage my time and my income. And this is interesting, something to be interested about. So what you can do is whoever invited you, they'll be happy to share more information about the products or the packages. Or the opportunities to go to Monaco and watch F1 racing, or go to Cabo or Vietnam. These are all opportunities that the company offers. Again, we want community, we want people enjoying time, enjoying life together. And again, I mentioned you have a couple of opportunities to participate in. You can go ahead and switch it. All right, so these are some special packages that are offered to try the products out. There's an intro package with the Vitalite that Pat talked about, and the Eternal, and the Immune, which Chloe takes 6 before she travels to get her immune system up. The Visage collection is the 4 products where I just learned from Terry that she uses the white cleanser at night to leave on as a mask, so I'm gonna do that. And then there's a premium package, Business Builder and Pro Collection. I actually joined when the Pro Collection was actually more a startup, like a founder's pack. And the cool thing about the Pro Collection that I like is that I had enough product for me and also to share with other people. And it basically took care of my own self for like 11 months. So, you know, you want to invest in your health, you want to see the results, and it's amazing. There are optional other packages, or you can, you know, discover what might work best for you. But definitely the Vitalite that Pat talked about is very good, and the orange packs, you know, again, will give you energy. They're very good. Next slide. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, when I do my Costco membership or like my Disneyland membership, which I'm taking a break from my Disneyland membership, it's expensive, right? It can be like a lot of money. You can actually be part of 3 for $30 and get wholesale pricing, which blew my mind because I'm like, that's it? $30 a year, like for wholesale pricing? And if I want to show the opportunity, I might be able to pay for my own product. So what's cool about that is, in addition, again, I know how much it costs to start up a company, to go out for Series A, B, C, D, E funding. And so when I first heard about the opportunity, I started running numbers, and I'm like, man, these guys are genius about how they're doing their funding. $30 per person to join. You're in it for a year. You get your own back office so you can track your reporting about what's coming through. You get an app with a lot of learning. You get daily community building. You get mentorship. I mean, these are things like, I work with people that spend $25,000 a year to be part of a mastermind group. I work with people that were the original founders of SEO search engine optimization, and they know what's up with AI. If you want to know what's up with AI, I have lots to share with you about AI. But it's interesting to be able to learn for $30 a year. I'm like, that is genius. You can't even do LinkedIn learning for $30, a year. But yeah, it's something to consider. And so if you'd like to learn more about product, or if you'd like to learn more about the business, we're going to do some breakout groups right now. Is this side of the room your product side? So if you want to learn more about product, hang out with Dr. Bob. If you want to learn more about business, Chloe, Sally, will you be helping on the business side or the product side? Yeah, you can come over there. But I want to thank you for coming out to really pay attention to your self-care and opportunities. So hopefully you've gotten some good notes. And again, my name's Carmen, and I really want to thank you for attending.
Thank you.